Hello, my name is Keith Surtees. Today I'm going to do a talk. Oh no, I should tell you a little bit about myself. Uh, Lived and worked for many, many years in Sweden with my wife Fiona, and we had a center called Skogshuset, uh, Forest Light. Worked in Norway and Sweden and where else? Holland, Spain. Yeah, quite a few places. But basically, what I would like to talk about in this short talk is consciousness and where we are in the planetary system. There's a lot of talk about many, many things. We are getting a new mixture from various sources of how to, what can I say, how to look at what is happening today. For example, the coronavirus, which is devastating our economies. Now, you take a look at that and you can take a perspective and then you can say, basically, this is hell. And it is hell. But it's also a very deep level change. And we've had deep level changes before. And it's not just a deep level change for, what can I say, humanity. It's a deep level change for the fish, for the seawater, for everything that is affected in a new way because the industries are closed or partially closed. It's also telling us something about our environment and our consciousness. And this fits in with a whole lot of stuff that's gone on since the 1960s, the time of the revolution when people were blowing their minds on LSD and smoking lots of marijuana and eating lots of magic mushrooms and talking and telling us, no more wars, John Lennon, give peace a chance, and all this kind of stuff, all extremely important ideas. And yet peace has never come, has it? The destruction of the planet goes on. And we have different people on different sides who are fighting from their particular stance and saying, we've got to look out for this. So we have, for example, Greta Thunberg in Sweden, who's gone worldwide, and we have other people on the other side with their voices, etc. And yet all of this outer stuff that connects with the physicality of our life is only part of the story. Many, many years ago, when we first moved into the beautiful woodlands, Blekinge in Sweden, where we bought an old house, Fiona and myself, actually 3 houses. It was school. It was an old school, so teaching. It had the teaching feeling about it. The one side, to the right-hand side as you're going out the gate, basically just forest and lakes and 1 or 2 small scattered houses. This other side, a small village with 10 or 12 houses. And 22 or 24 kilometers, I can't remember which, to Karlshamn, near this small town. So we lived right in the middle of everything. And there, in the middle of everything, and I mean everything because nature is everything. In the middle of nature, we began to see and feel things. First of all, we've talked a bit on podcasts about Norway and Iceland, especially Iceland, where we started our journey away from England and experienced the power of forces beyond us, nature, spirit forces, the elves, the fairies, the energies that flow through the land, the basic structures that underlie our planetary system. So back to the present day, rolling forward. As we roll forward, we have something new that we can talk about, which is let's go to the year 2000. Fiona and myself, working from our center, quite internationally, doing a lot of mediumship, Fiona doing a lot of psychic art, myself suddenly having an experience in the woods with what can only be called UFOs, and coming back out of that and beginning to paint really abstract energies and paintings which were totally new. I've done conventional, I think they're boring but conventional drawings. And for example, this is a recent one, if you can can see that I've done, and this is 2 years old now. Okay. And I want to use this to show you something. What we have in this is a story of intelligence, cosmic intelligence, working through the forms. The forms are flowing. The forms are constantly changing. And these forms represent various structures, including our own consciousness. For our own consciousness from our small little planet goes out extremely quick, faster than the speed of light. Our thoughts, our collective human thoughts, leave and they bounce off energies like this, and we pick them up and we bring those back, and certain artists are reproducing them, whether it's in music form or it's in spoken word. We are saying, hey, we're cosmic beings. Okay. Now here is another little one, which is about 2 years old, if you can see that. This is on card. Again, this is like another level of the cosmos. What I'm trying to show here is the different structures. The circles and the oblongs, etc., cubes, represent ideas that are within the cosmos. And what we need to realize is that we are an idea. Some would say we are an idea in the mind of God. When I use the word God, I do use the word God. The God consciousness to me is both female and male. It is basically the yin and yang consciousness and its intelligence. It never should have been separated into all male God, but that's another story. And it's a story that's very bloody and very awful. We got lost when we went down that route, but we're beginning to bring that back together now. We're beginning to understand that we cannot live as males without the female, and vice versa. So, when we left Sweden, we came to Spain, and in that process of being in Spain, we expanded, we met new people, but most importantly was the, if I can say, the energy of the land. I've been to Mexico, Fiona hasn't. I worked in Mexico in '81, teaching English for a short time, in Nuevo León, in North Mexico, not bad Mexico, North Mexico. And it's different though here. So it's different from North Mexico. It's different from parts of Europe. But again, we are picking up from the light, from the fauna, from the birds, from the fish. We're picking up energies. Now, if you can see the setup that we've done with this artwork here around this video, you'll see the floating orbs. Now, orbs are something. I haven't got many orbs left in the way of paintings because I've sold a lot and I've given up quite a few away to friends. But here I have a painting which I think represents, if you can see that, the energy, for me, the energy of Spain, away from the urbanizations, away from the beaches, away from the human destruction, really, or destructuring and rebuilding. Each time we deal with our senses to feel, to see, or to touch the consciousness of our planet, we have a chance to take this planet forward. Now, I'd like to go back to that year 2000. Fiona and I were getting many calls, is it the end of the world? People were desperate. They were really believed it was the end of the world. And there were people there channeling so-called masters who said it was the end of the world. And we nicely told a lot of people on our telephone, no, it's not the end of the world. It's just some energy changes. Okay, it went. Then comes 2011, and everyone had heard about the changes, the massive earth changes in 2012. Again, we denied that they were going to happen. And we denied they were going to happen because they weren't going to happen. They were energy changes, yes, but they were structurally energetic. That is, they are working on subatomic levels to create consciousness change or thought and emotional change. And that is a totally different thing to physical change. Yes, there's big disruptions. Yes, those disruptions are showing now in, for example, the virus, in the fact that we are beginning to see and understand the destruction of the environment that we are creating. And we're beginning to understand how our need to be like children that must have, give me things, is creating plastic. And plastic is basically human-made garbage. And that is what we're doing to the planet. We are creating human-made garbage. At the same time, we are also creating fantastic medicine. We are creating ideas that can bring solar energy, that can bring all kinds of other alternative energies. We're beginning to understand the going beyond atomic energy into forms of energy that can create and meet every need that we have. So we are beginning to understand we have to take this forward. And the panic now over the illness and the death of, unfortunately, thousands of people gives us a chance to look at ourselves as a world collective, as a collective of countries, and to say, where are we really going? What are we going to do with this? Are we going to give peace a chance, as our old friend John Lennon said? Okay, give peace a chance. Is this a little break from a busy world? Everyone panicking about, can we afford to keep going? The economy, etc. When the real question is, what is going to happen to the nature of our planet after all of this finishes? What are we going to do with the lessons we've learned when we can see a river that's not polluted because all of the works along that riverbank have stopped working because people are not going to work? Is this going to make us think, hey, we can maybe protect this planet? We can maybe find within ourselves the heart and the love of what I call the mother consciousness, which is very important. That part that has been suppressed for 3,000 years, and especially for the last 2,000 years, the mother consciousness and the divine feminine consciousness, to bring a balance into all this. With the male, put this together so that we can say, look, all of this pain, all of this structural destruction of the physical life forms, ours included, with this virus, as well as the animals, the plants, and everything else we've destroyed, whether this is going to make us raise our consciousness to understand that we are one organism called planet Earth. One organism called planet Earth. Now think about that, because that is where we are, and that is where we are heading. It is into, I would say, into an interplanetary consciousness where, and believe me, I know they exist, and so do many, I think millions of people on the Earth, where we will meet other consciousnesses from other parts of the galaxy, other dimensions of the galaxy, other dimensions, because it's like enfolded mathematical dimension upon dimension upon dimension. And these dimensions are where the souls are. This is the in my Father's house there are many mansions that was supposed to be uttered by Jesus, at least was taught at that time in the group around Jesus. Many mansions, many dimensions, and all those dimensions are in us, in the body of us, beyond so-called chakras, because we are made up of thousands of balls of light. You are thousands of balls of connected piece of consciousness. It is the most wonderful physical specimen, the most wonderful mental specimen, the most wonderful life specimen. And that's what we need to appreciate. Because when we appreciate ourselves as beautiful, wonderful life, we'll appreciate this beautiful planet and this beautiful quadrant of the universe, of our galaxy. And then the others will stretch out their hands and say, welcome, welcome into the international, intergalactical brotherhood and sisterhood of life. Okay, just a thought for you. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this talk, and I think there's more to come. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.